When you think of it as digital gold, then it should replace gold. Gold's worth $10 trillion, and that takes Bitcoin to 500,000. But when you think of it as digital property, like replacing buildings and land and other long storeholds of wealth, then, you're up by a factor of 20 or 30 from there. If you think of it like that, then it's a multi-hundred trillion dollar asset class. So at 10 trillion, it's 500,000. At 100 trillion, it's 5 million. So I think, we're marching toward $10 trillion, which is, $10 million a coin, which is why Bitcoin enthusiasts see it's just a very great long-term store of value, and it's a great investment idea.
In his latest interview, Michael Saylor presents a bold outlook, envisioning Bitcoin becoming a multi-hundred trillion dollar asset class with a projected value of $10 million per coin. Saylor emphasizes Bitcoin's intrinsic value and its potential to outperform gold, highlighting its pivotal role in the digital transformation of money, property, and energy. Throughout the interview, Saylor delves into Bitcoin's significance as a paradigm shift and its diminishing volatility compared to previous years. Stay tuned until the end of the video for Saylor's insights on why Bitcoin's volatility has decreased over time.
Ever feel like you're wasting your money on things that don't really matter? Stop. You don't have time. Don't miss out on this 2025 bull run. Educate yourself now. Don't spend $12.50 on junk. Educate yourself on how to be successful in crypto using our crypto cheat guide. Unlock the secrets of crypto and make smarter investments today. Visit the website now on the link in the description for your exclusive copy. Start your journey to crypto success today.
Please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to drop your comment and observations in the comment section below. Thanks and enjoy the video.
If I took $1 million of economic value in 100 years ago and I held it in dollars, the US dollar is expanding about 7% a year for the past 100 years. So if you do the math, you find that you lose 99% of the economic value in cash. And that's why nobody in their right mind would put $1 million of cash in a box and put a time lock on it, and in the year 2120 expect their great-grandchildren to open the box and for it to be worth anything. It will be worth nothing.
Sure.
If I put $1 million of gold in a box, 100 years from now, the challenge is, will the bank or the government seize the gold? Pretty much every country on earth stole everybody's gold over the last 100 years. If you had it in Germany, it got stolen multiple times. If it didn't get stolen, if you increase the gold supply by 2% a year, then you realize the half-life of money in gold, that seems the half-life of energy in a battery. The half-life of money in gold is 35 years. You can't stop the gold miners from mining gold. So ultimately, the economic energy stored in the container of gold is dissipating at 2 to 3% a year, which means you're going to cut it in half once, twice, 3 times, right? So you're going to be down to 12.5% of what you had, even if it doesn't get seized. So when you think about these things, you realize that gold doesn't really hold economic energy great. It just happens to be the best portable, non-sovereign way to move energy around. Bitcoin represents a paradigm shift. It's the digital transformation of money, property, and energy. And paradigm shifts are so profound that you're staring at them and you don't realize they took place because your worldview is constructed based upon a bunch of assumptions that you've always taken for granted. And so what Thomas Kuhn says in the structure of scientific revolutions and what we study at MIT is there's only 2 circumstances under which people willingly undergo a paradigm shift. And one way is you wait for the old guard to die. And the millennials kind of, they get it because they're different. And Einstein, said God does not play dice with the universe. Einstein never liked quantum theory. You could be a brilliant person, but you won't embrace the paradigm shift while you're alive in the absence of a crisis. The second way you get paradigm shift is a war. When there's a war and there are bombs dropping from above, you don't believe in atomic power, but then someone drops a nuclear weapon and the city evaporates, and all of a sudden you become a believer and you reassess your priorities. When you think of it as digital gold, then it should replace gold. Gold's worth $10 trillion, and that takes Bitcoin to 500,000. But when you think of it as digital property, like replacing buildings and land and other long storeholds of wealth, then, you're up by a factor of 20 or 30 from there. I mean, it should not be... It's much better than digital gold because I can move Bitcoin at the speed of light and I can program it to 1 million transactions an hour on an iPhone or a website. You can't do that with gold. So it's got more utility than gold, which means it's probably worth 20 or 30 trillion if it just replaces the gold. But instead of buying the Fontainebleau Hotel, which is a nice hotel, worth whatever billions in Miami Beach, instead of buying the equivalent amount of Bitcoin, if you bought the Bitcoin, you can move that to any city in the world every hour of the day, compose it, decompose it, recompose it, dematerialize it. And, when there's a nasty tax on it, you can just move yourself to a different jurisdiction where there's a better tax treatment. And if you think of it like that, then it's a multi-hundred trillion dollar asset class. So at 10 trillion, it's 500,000. At 100 trillion, it's 5 million. So I think, we're marching toward $10 trillion, which is, $10 million a coin, which is why Bitcoin enthusiasts see it's just a very great long-term store of value. And it's a great investment idea because it meets the needs of 8 billion people. The average person, the middle-class person that drives an Uber or works as a dentist, they can't buy $387 worth of a building in New York City every month is their savings plan, right? And a person in Africa can't buy a small share of a nice piece of property. They can't buy $127 worth of a Picasso painting. So Bitcoin offers property rights at any scale, any amount of money, anybody in the world, and you don't have to worry about, will people like Picassos? Will they still want buildings in Vegas or New York? Will some politician tax it away from me? Well, can I take it through an airport? So if you're looking for an egalitarian, utilitarian way for people to save money and protect their life force or protect their economic wealth for the next 100 years. And you are looking for something that's kind of consistent with the mobile wave, Android phones, iPhones, websites, that's truly global, it's more appealing to people in Nigeria and Argentina than it is appealing to people in Manhattan. Bitcoin is the first spark that catch hold and became a fire in cyberspace. And it's because it drew liberally from all the previous experiments.
Okay.
And it combined, the cryptography and the general tech ideas with proof of work, which meant that you had an open, permissionless system that could work everywhere in the world without a counterparty or a trusted intermediary, and no one could game the system. And so it is the first, digital commodity that kind of caught fire, that sparked. I think that it's pretty stable at this point. I think that the great risk came in the first few years.
Yeah.
It's just like, again, coming back to the metaphor of a fire. If you start a fire, right, and you can put the fire out in the first few minutes, but at some point when the fire is taken over the entire warehouse or it's broken out into the entire forest, you can't put the fire out. So I think at this point it's beyond that event horizon. But certainly back in 2012, 2011, 2013, there are a lot of questions like, would it be deemed property by the IRS? Sure. Would it be banned or outlawed? Online gambling got banned and they just shut it down dead on arrival. So there are a lot of things that do get squelched. This had to get to a sufficiently decentralized, diffuse point where no one regulator or no one nation state would think they could stop it. And I think we're clearly there now. You can see that now with the utterances coming out of the White House, the Secretary of the Treasury, and the head of the SEC and the head of the CFTC. But you couldn't have been sure about that in 2012.
In his compelling discourse, Michael Saylor offers profound insights into Bitcoin's remarkable value, transcending mere price considerations to encompass its versatile utility. He underscores Bitcoin's role as a long-term store of value and an inclusive investment opportunity, emphasizing its accessibility to a broader demographic. Saylor identifies Bitcoin's appeal in its global accessibility and its seamless integration into the digital age, aligning perfectly with mobile and digital lifestyles. Drawing a striking comparison between Bitcoin and gold, Saylor highlights Bitcoin's potential to outshine gold as a superior store of value owing to its digital essence and enhanced utility. He perceives Bitcoin not merely as digital gold, but also as digital property, extolling its capacity for frictionless global transfers and efficient transaction facilitation. Saylor's elucidation underscores Bitcoin's multifaceted nature and its profound impact on the financial landscape. If Saylor's insights resonate with your understanding of Bitcoin's significance and potential, stay tuned for more thought-provoking discussions on this transformative digital asset. For more Daily Dose Crypto news, check out these 2 awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.